known you for a while, Scott,
Yeah.
and you are authentic because you show up every time with the same hat on, so to speak. This positive hat every time. It's pretty hard to fake that consistently. I mean, you're authentic and you're upbeat and you help to elevate the attitude of other people.
Hey, thanks, man.
That's for sure. That's what I would say.
Okay. Now, Scott, one of the things you guys talk about is the abundance mindset. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, definitely. Before we go into that, we have to talk about what the scarcity mindset is.
Oh, okay.
And scarcity is essentially a poison. It's a lack, and it's a mentality where things aren't enough in your life. And when we help you understand that it really is a poison that can kill you, that there's a reason to choose something different. And that's the abundance mindset. And abundance essentially is believing that there's more than enough that's going to come into your life, and that there's overflow, and that there's just extreme possibilities for you in your life. So what have you discovered in yourself as a result of being coached by myself?
I didn't need any of this, and I just I'm starting to discover sort of who I am and what some of the things that really make me tick are, not what I've thought they were. Mm-hmm. I'm also learning a little bit more about where I want to go, and starting to believe in the possibilities of getting there. Very strong belief in the possibilities of getting there.
Awesome.
My new favorite word, possibility. So,
woohoo! There you go. Good one. People out there have desires and aspirations for their life. They want to have a happier life. They want to have a better family. They want to have more financial success. And whatever it is that you want to have, often we find that people don't get the results that they need. Okay. And in order to get the results, you need to go through something. Usually it's a radical change. And that radical change is breakthrough.
So before I started coaching with Scott, I was very stuck in my beliefs about money and abundance. And I didn't really understand what abundance meant. So it was either I had no money or I had money. It was like no money, money, no money, money. But I didn't understand the greatness of the word abundance. So it was stuck. Not such a good place to be.
Milton, what brought you to coaching in the first place?
Wow, good question. I think I remember the day that I was having coffee, or actually it was breakfast with you, and we were just visiting about how life was going. And in that moment that we were talking in that time period, I came to realize that what I was doing on my own wasn't working. And I'm familiar with that saying, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, that's like the definition of insanity, that kind of thing. And I realized that my current state was not likely to change unless I got some help.
So Matt, could you tell me, where were you at before you got life coaching from Scott?
Yeah, pretty dark place. Depressed, cycling my schizophrenia, feeling very lost, feeling very hopeless, lonely, very confused, and Scott's really benefited me a lot in our conversations and applying things to my life, and it's been good.
Just tell me a little bit about just what brought you to coaching in the first place.
You know what? A lot of people get stagnant in what they're doing with their life, their careers and stuff like that, and that's why, my past relationship with you, you told me what you do. I thought this is a great idea because we all need to learn new things and to take a step forward with our lives. Otherwise, you're stuck in a rut. I was in a rut. I needed some changes. I needed to find a direction. That's why I came to see Scott.
Who am I and what matters to me? And draw from that well. Another thing that really is important with that process is that sometimes we don't have the resources, the tools, and the frame of mind to actually ask ourselves all of those questions and know that you're actually going to get the right answers and the right results. And you also often don't have the accountability to move forward. And coaching really helps, because a coach can come in and a coach can help you see things from a new perspective. They can help you identify areas where you possibly are finding blockages. They can come in and they can help you with the tools. One of the biggest things they can help you with is that you can have a space where an environment is created for you to be able to share and to basically unload all of the different things.
Oh, thank you very much for coming on. So who could benefit from a life coach, first off?
Well, I think that anybody could benefit from a life coach. Frankly, that if the CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, could benefit from a life coach, then anybody could benefit from a life coach. Pretty much, I find people, when they come to me, they're interested in either getting unstuck or else they just want to contribute more. There's something more for them in their life, and it could be in different areas too, so that's usually when I find people.
And one of the specializations, if I can call it that, is abundance coaching. What's that about?
Yeah. Well, Abundance Coaching is the name of our business, abundancecoaching.com, but the other part about it is that abundance coaching for me is actually a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of replacing scarcity and then moving in abundance, because scarcity can't exist, lack and scarcity can't exist where abundance is. And abundance is completely believing that inside yourself that you're created as more than enough, that you have more than enough, and that more than enough is going to come to you in the future.
And in the end, that's how people are able to find their direction. They just realize they don't have enough and that they can get themselves a little more and wedge themselves in a little bigger slice of the pie.
Sure, definitely. Well, scarcity is this idea that with the pie, right, is that if somebody takes a piece of your pie, that you can never replace that piece of the pie, right? You're just holding it in, and you've got boundaries and walls, right, that come to that. So abundance is the opposite of that. There's way more than enough. There's possibilities everywhere.
Scott was able to say things to me that nobody else would say them to. Say those things to me because like friends wouldn't. But you said them because you could see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good coach is willing to stand in your corner, to back you when you feel weak and pick you up when you feel like you need to actually have somebody to pick you up.
Yeah.
And a good coach is somebody who's also going to recognize areas where you need to say, okay, I need a kick in the pants, or I need to move forward, and keep you accountable to those things. Because in some ways, if you don't have that, you're going to stay stuck.
I didn't understand really what life coaching was. It's not another rehab self-help thing at all. What it really is, it's coaching. It's taking something that's already going great in some areas and maybe not so great in other areas and making greatness out of it all.
Where were you at before you came to coaching?
So, like Scott said, I've been with him coaching for probably about a year and a half now. And when I first began, I was someone who was curious about everything coming at me all at once. I wanted to get engaged in everything I could. I wanted my hands on everything. And what Scott helped me do was realize that at times you need to reel yourself back in and focus on certain priorities in order to get results. And so what myself and he did was focus on specific goals and specific areas of my life that I wanted to improve. And instead of looking at several different things all at once and getting very minimal results, we focused on those specific things, and because of that, I was able to see results. And now I focus on school, which was one of them, doing 6 classes this semester as well as 5 classes in the summer, and I'm glad to say I'm finished that now, which feels amazing.
Yeah.
And so I'm at a point now where I'm beginning that next chapter in my life, and I couldn't be more excited, and I have him to thank.
I associated with Scott of around like 1 year, around approximately more than 1 year, and I feel like he always very motivative. And when I come, when I come to Scott, like I feel not so much confident, not so much energy. But as soon as I talk with Scott for 1 hour session, then I got so much motivated, and I have enough energy for another 15 days. So I got benefited from Scott lots with this with my coaching.
Like, where were you at when you first came to coaching, and what were you looking to get out of coaching?
Well, you don't know what you don't know, and I can't do things on my own. Nobody can do everything on their own, and I knew that for what I wanted in life to achieve, I needed something else. I needed someone like yourself who is in a similar mindset to challenge me, to ask me the questions that I don't know the answers to, but you help me to answer, and to really push me to what I want out of life and why I was brought to this planet. You know, what's my whole meaning? And it's really helped me to define, you know, where I'm going every day. That's
cool, man. That's awesome.
I knew that that's what you would bring to the table, and just your life experiences and your knowledge. Actually, more than I expected.
Cool.
I thought, yeah, life coach. Not just life coach in general. I mean, I think every athlete has a coach. I didn't know what to expect, but it's been more than I thought.
Excellent.
For sure.
Cool.
I feel like whenever I have a goal, like I want to do this on Saturday, you tell me no, let's do it on Friday. You have a very good way of convincing me to do that, because you come from the right place, you know? Maybe if someone else would tell it to me, I'd be like, yeah, well, go screw yourself, I want to do this on Saturday, you know? And with you, I don't have that feeling at all. I feel encouraged, and I get the feeling like you really, really want to help me instead of just doing your job. And apart from skills that you have, which obviously very important, you know, and I think they're really good, but really that sincerity, that is, I think that is way more, makes a difference even behind those skills, yeah.
One of the things we focused on early on was identifying that lion mentality within. And we talked a lot about and how I believe man is one of the most domesticated animals of all. Because society tells us, live by default, take it easy, follow what everybody kind of expects of you. And we brought the mentality of the lion out in me, and I helped it see it in other people that I wanted to bring into my life. So by doing so, not only was I living more authentically with what I believe to be true, but I could find those people that I could bring into my life to help me grow stronger, and I could grow them stronger as well.
That's awesome. And where were you at before you met with Scott?
Well, before I met with Scott, I had realized that coaching as a career and a way of life was certainly my path. But I knew nothing about the coaching industry. I hadn't taken any training. I wasn't really sure where to start. And I got in touch with Scott, and he was able to help me in a few coaching sessions, which then later turned into a friendship and some mentoring. He was able to help me figure out where I could take some training. He helped me stick with my training so that I can finish on time. He helped me. The biggest thing Scott's done for me is through his support and his encouragement. He's helped me to see in me what I couldn't see before. And now that I see it, it's not anything I'll ever take my eye off again. And I have Scott to thank for that. So, thank you, Scott, for your part in what I'm going to go out there and do. I'll always remember the start I got and the role that you played in that, so thank you.
He approaches everybody in this very special way. So what I mean by that is his ability to read people where they are and to never allow them to feel badly about that. And then there's this immediate growth, like you get unstuck very, very fast with him. He's very joyous and he's very compassionate. And I always felt just like I was in the perfect place with the perfect coach all the time. And Scott is so much fun. So it's like you really, really look forward to your sessions, even when we're getting in deep stuff. It's engaging, it's purposeful, and very, very special.
I think I'm going to continue to be in need of support to maintain that position of well-being in my life, because more decisions are going to come along, and it's not a specific incident that I needed coaching for. It's actually a frame of mind and a frame of well-being that I need to sustain, not just for my own personal and professional life, but for my family as well. So I think what I've come to realize is that if I want to stay in the game long term, I'm going to need a coach. Every team has a coach. Every player has a coach. Even the professionals. Tiger Woods has a coach. Why wouldn't I? So I think there's the prospect for a long-term relationship that will serve to sustain my health and well-being, so that I can be that person to make the right kind of decisions moving forward.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing about being coached as opposed to being taught or involving another program is that there's an interaction, and I mean I think that's your strong suit. Your strong suit is the fact that you interact, that you haven't, well, throughout our dealings, you haven't told or say do this, do that. It's been an interaction. It's been trying to make me realize what the next step is. So coaching is bringing out the best in you, raising your expectations, as opposed to teaching, which is just telling you what those items would be. So I think I've achieved more. I've enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I was skeptical off the start. I think we discussed that.
Yeah, we have.
And looked at other programs that have been involved in different tapes, different videos, different seminars, and each one of them asks or tells you that they will give you something that will change the way. We're not operating on that premise here. We're digging, we're building a foundation, and a lot of it is you picking away and dragging the stuff, getting me to admit it to myself, but getting me to actually to realize things. So coaching as opposed to teaching, I don't think there's any comparison.
And one of the specializations, if I can call it that, is abundance coaching. What's that about?
Yeah, well, abundance coaching is the name of our business, abundancecoaching.com, but the other part about it is that abundance coaching for me is actually a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of replacing scarcity and then moving in abundance, because scarcity can't exist, lack and scarcity can't exist where abundance is. And abundance is completely believing that inside yourself that you're created as more than enough, that you have more than enough, and that more than enough is going to come to you in the future.
No matter what you're doing, I always say, even Wayne Gretzky had a coach. Doesn't matter how good things are for you, how successful you are, you still need a coach. And a lot of people probably don't realize there are people out there that are life coaches. And Scott, you're one of them. And sometimes you need to have that person to get some clarity in your life, and that's what you bring. So I would highly recommend just sitting down, having that chat, and start with the abundance wheel like you did with me, and start trying to focus on what parts of your life need work on. And when you start on that, then things start to develop, and that's what you need to do.